The proposal sucked. That's all I'm gonna say. Plus, okay, I'm very old on this one, but I want the man to propose, okay? Because then at least I know he wants it. He's not gonna say yes because he's scared.
Come in and get scared together on this episode of The Crime and the Creepy.
The timing on that ad, hello?
Vermont law enforcement began the investigation, and Joseph lied to them, too.
Hey, Joseph, this is Trooper Cody, Vermont State Police. Hey, so, I just got off the phone with your father-in-law, and it sounds like there's some concern about maybe where...
Oh, that must be so rough on the family.
Okay, what can you... it sounds like you... What do we know at this point, I guess? What can you tell me?
So, I'm making this up right now. Okay, sorry. The fact that you're like, you haven't, I don't know if he was asked if they cut that out, but if you just start rambling about what she was wearing when you last saw her, when you dropped her off, that sounds like suspicious as fuck. I don't know. Yes, officer, so I actually did see her last on Saturday, 2044. She was streaming on Twitch. And she had a kimono in red. She was wearing it, but that's it, officer. I don't know no more. One of the state he's being tired in his death penalty. It sounds premeditated. I don't know if it sounds premeditated. I think it was more like, I actually don't know. If it was premeditated, he planned it really, really poorly. I'm not gonna lie, considering how, well, I don't know, like. We'll see, I guess. We'll see a bit more. But yeah, he sounds like he's just making stuff up as he goes.
And you went to the gas station, the one, what, just down the street there? Yeah, I went down the street, got some gas, and grabbed a Coke, and thought she wanted maybe some soda. I went to grab a drink, and
why is he talking so much? Another thing how you actually spot a lot of lies if they add too many details, because in a stressful situation like this, where, I mean, your wife just got missing, hello, you don't know where she is, you should be concerned, right? You should be stressed. You won't mention all the details, especially not if you're not directly asked. So you're not going to be like, oh yeah, I stopped for a Coke and she actually didn't want a Coke because she is on a diet, she doesn't like soda, so she took a watermelon juice instead, and you wouldn't say all of that shit. You would just say the things that are really important and the things that you immediately like remember and can point to. If you make up a lot of stuff like in your story, if you tell a lot of stuff in your story, it kind of just sounds made up, and you probably will be able to, like, as was already mentioned, find a lot of holes, a lot of Swiss cheese, basically.
Okay. But she had her cell phone with her at that time? Yes. And like her purse or wallet or something?
I don't know if you guys saw that right now.
And like her purse or wallet or something?
I need to see. Here. Like, goddammit. She was getting an Uber, right? Right? Look at this. She was getting milk. I love YouTube subtitles sometimes. She said she was getting milk, and Uber, and milk. Same thing. If a loved one was missing, you'd also be a lot more panicked. Yeah, definitely. He sounds absolutely chill in that phone call. Like, he doesn't even miss her, right?
Okay. But she had her cell phone with her at that time? Yes. And her purse or a wallet or something with some money?
Yeah, she had like a wallet with cards in it.
Okay. And now, about what time was this? Did you drop her off, would you say?
Maybe like a little afternoon, maybe like 12:30. Like 12:30.
When Emily jumped out of the van, did she have her cell phone with her?
Yeah.
You're positive on that?
Yeah. I don't have it.
But prosecutors say Joseph actually did have Emily's phone, and he turned it off not long after her murder. About 4 days into all of this, Joseph decided it was time to dismember Emily's body.
Do you remember inflicting any stab wounds into Emily's body after she was dead?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Do you remember
What do you mean, no?
cutting her up?
I have one flash of memory where I cut into her leg with a knife, and then I stopped. It made me sick, and I remember being sick, like nauseous and vomiting, and that's all I remember is being sick.
Just once?
No, I drank. I drank and got sick multiple times. But I don't
Drinking
remember
makes it
any.
okay.
I don't remember any other part of that incident.
But those closest to Joseph could tell something was up. Here's his friend Spencer Lemons.
What did he say to you?
Dismembering shows intent to hide. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was from the start when it was about self-defense. How was dismembering her body self-defense in any way, shape, or form? Yeah. And now he doesn't remember it, huh? Yeah. Blame the alcohol.
He said, let's go pick up my van.
Did you know where his van was?
He said it was at someone's house called the Langs.
Did you know where that residence was?
No, ma'am.
Had you ever been there before?
No, ma'am.
Did he tell you why he wanted to get the van?
He said he wanted to get the van up to my house because that was the original plan, and he wanted to get it done now.
Did Mr. Ferlazzo go with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And what was Mr. Ferlazzo's demeanor like while you were driving in the car?
He was quiet.
Did you ask him why he was quiet?
I did ask him if there was anything going on, and he seemed a little distraught. He said, I just want to get to the bus. And so I had him point the directions out to me as we went.
Okay, keep your voice up.
He pointed the directions out to me as we went.
I was gonna say, I only
And
hear the
generally
person typing
speaking,
everything
where
down.
were you traveling to?
We were traveling to St. Albans.
And about how long would it take to get from your home to St. Albans?
About 30 minutes.
Did you arrive in St. Albans?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened when you arrived in St. Albans?
We went in St. Albans. He gave me directions to where to go, and we arrived at where his bus was parked, and I assume that's the Langs.
What did you see when you arrived where the bus was parked?
I saw several patrol SUVs parked outside the residence.
And when you say patrol SUVs, do you mean police
These
cars?
vehicles,
Do you remember how many you saw?
3 or 4.
What did you think when you saw those police vehicles?
Alarm bells went off in my head, and then he said, just go to the end of the road. It was a dead-end road, and he said, turn around. And then I turned
Sus.
around, and he instructed me to drive past the police.
That's suspicious.
When he told you to turn around, what did that make you think?
That made me think something was not correct
Yeah.
in the situation, and thus it prompted me to continue to prod him for what's going on.
Okay, and did you do that?
I did. I asked him, what's going on, man? You need to tell me what's going on. If I'm going to be driving past police officers,
Yeah.
I need to know.
I don't want to be involved either, hello?
And did he respond to you?
He did.
How did he respond?
He responded to me with, there's a lot going on. I wish I could see my grandmother. And then I said, what is going on? He said, Emily is back in the van. I said, is Emily alive? He said, no. And I asked, did you hurt her? And he said, yes.
Right away, this same friend called 911.
What the... Whoa, imagine being the friend in that situation. Holy shit. Yeah, friendship cancelled, dude.
He stated this to me when he said, we gotta go back to my house. Like, are those cops for you? What is going on? And I said, what is going on? He says, my wife was in, he said, I did something really bad. I said, what did you do? And he said that his wife is inside that box. And I said, is she alive? And he goes, no, I don't want to go to prison. Get on my phone right now.
I don't want to go to prison, you're my mate.
No, he was like, she's like, man, I don't want to go to prison. Don't take me back there. I said, and then he just started getting fidgety, and I don't know if he got anything on him.
holy.
I mean, yes, I am armed, but I'm not looking at any confrontation, so I just get out of my car. Okay. All right, hold on.
Yeah, I would have probably kicked him out. I don't know. I would have not been brave enough to, like, you know, do anything else. Take him out of the car, call the police. Period.
Her name was Emily Ferlazzo. I'm guessing was. Oh, God. Emily, E-M-L-Y.
Joseph Ferlazzo was arrested and charged with Emily's murder. His
Yeah,
case
like,
went
if he
to
kills
trial
his,
just
like,
last
wife,
month, and
of course he
here's
could
how
kill his friend.
prosecutors wrapped up their side of the story.
In October of 2021, Mr. Ferlazzo and his wife Emily made a plan to come to Vermont for a weekend for their 1-year anniversary. You heard from Emily's mother that Emily was excited. She was looking forward to meeting her sister-in-law, Nicole. She was in a good mood, and she was looking forward to the trip. They drove up here in their van with their dog from New Hampshire on the evening of Friday, October 15th of 2021. They arrived in Vermont at the Bear Run condos at 7:20 p.m. They parked at a condo complex on Bear Run in Bolton. They met with Nicole for about 15 minutes out in the parking lot inside the van with a plan for Mr. Ferlazzo and Emily to meet them inside the Airbnb to catch up, watch Netflix, and hang out. But they never did. And we know that
They
Emily
didn't get the
sent
meaning
her
of
last
Netflix and chill.
Facebook message to her family at 8:13 p.m. We know that Mr. Ferlazzo sent a text message to his sister Nicole inside the Airbnb at 9:39 p.m. Hey, we're gonna take the night to rest, smiley face. You still drink coffee? We'll see you tomorrow morning. Shortly after, Emily's last location data from her Facebook is logged as 10:14 p.m. Instead of going inside and spending time with his sister, Mr. Ferlazzo and Emily argued. They argued because Mr. Ferlazzo had brought Emily on their 1-year anniversary to the very same condo complex that his ex-wife lived. They argued because Mr. Ferlazzo seemed to believe that he didn't have any obligations to be monogamous.
Not really funny. For first-time chat message, really poorly.
With his wife, be faithful to her. And she told him she was done. She told him she did not want to be with him, that she could not do it anymore, and that she wanted to leave. And 1 minute after midnight, Mr. Ferlazzo turns off his phone. Done arguing, Emily laid down in bed while Mr. Ferlazzo stayed up and stewed. He became enraged at Emily while she lay in bed scrolling on her phone with her head on her pillow. Mr. Ferlazzo sat on the couch thinking, planning. But instead of walking away from Emily, going into his sister's Airbnb, out of the van, instead he executes his plan. He got up from the couch, he went to the closet, he grabbed this Glock 19 with this silencer.
What? He had a silencer? Who the hell has a silencer and brings it with him on a trip? What do you need a silencer for? Huh? That's some new information. A silencer? Turn off the phone also shows. Yeah, definitely. He there's only two options. Like, he absolutely freaked and panicked after what he did, and then decided to do it, to hide it because he doesn't want to go to prison, because he knew self-defense wouldn't work. Even if it was self-defense, let's just face it. Or it was premeditated because he brought a silencer to their trip. What? Hi, Paco. Yeah, he was hiding for sure. And he was bad at it. Luckily, he was bad at it too. A silencer. I can't.
Emily's head was resting on this pillow. He picked up this throw pillow
That's so
from the
sad.
couch. He jumped onto the bed. He put this throw pillow over her face.
Insane.
And he shot her once and twice, directly into the left side of her head, killing her. And he again sleeps in the van with Emily's body still.
How was it self-defense? She was lying on her bed, scrolling on her phone. Huh? Self-defense? Does he need, the definition of self-defense being read out? Because clearly he did not understand it.
In the shower. And the next day, he goes out to Burlington with his sister. He gets coffee. And again, he goes out to eat.
Crazy.
And again, he says nothing to Nicole about what he did to Emily. And after gallivanting around downtown, he heads back to St. Albans.
Nah, he's
and on his
guilty.
way, he stops at Hannaford.
Guilty.
To buy
An
bleach.
absolute shit trash of a human being
Because despite
for
him
trying to make it
continuing
sound like she
with his
was the
life as
problem.
if nothing has happened, he does have a mess to clean up. And amongst all of these activities, he decides that he needs to make her body easier to carry, easier to move, and easier to discard. Mr. Filazzo uses this serrated saw and dismembers her arms, her legs, her feet, and her head. He dismembers them from her torso. The same torso, absolutely riddled with stab wounds, including one striking her heart. 3 different knives had her DNA on them. At least 3 different knives were used to stab her heart one time, her abdomen 8 times, and her back.
He didn't remember, right? He didn't remember the stabby.
Then he puts each
how would you remember 16
piece
times
of her
stabbing?
body in garbage bags.
The defense followed up with their closing argument, saying Joseph killed Emily out of self-defense.
What he told you yesterday is not what he told the police. He explained to you that his memory of what happened ended at some point that weekend. He remembers the events now. He remembers the events leading up to him shooting Emily. He remembers some of the events of Saturday, what he did. He doesn't remember much, if anything, of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. He told
he
you
only
that
remembers particular days.
after
Yeah,
he had an
yeah.
opportunity to sleep
That makes sense.
for a couple of days, he came to.
I
and
usually
he
try to
started
not
having
remember
nightmares
Mondays either.
And remembering things, bits and pieces. And even as he talked to you yesterday, he said his memory is fragmented, very fragmented. And he is struggling to understand what happened and why. What he told you yesterday is that over the course of their relationship, Emily had become
Like
physically abusive to him.
I don't like.
The reasons
I'm not
the state
unhappy
would have
about
you
it, but his
believe
defense
is
sucks.
that the state would have you believe that he's an egomaniac. It's up to you to decide if you saw any evidence of that in his demeanor or his testimony yesterday. That he shot her because she
That's why you couldn't
disrespected
finish
him.
law. You could never
He
defend the
told you
murderer. Well,
clearly
join the other
about
side.
how many
Prosecute them.
times she had hit him with objects, with cell phone, with her fists.
I wanna be a
with
judge, man.
laptop, with a wine bottle. Gave him a black eye once, and he never hit her back.
Okay, gave him a black eye, hit him several times. Why did he never make police reports? Why is this not being brought up? Why did he never call anyone? Why did he never make pictures, record it, show it to any kind of friends? If there was any kind of abuse, why did he never do it? Like, even if you don't plan on going to the police because you love this person or whatever, you would still make a selfie, and at least this could be put into evidence and being like, hey, it actually happened. She did hurt me. Like, this is just very made up. No, I'm not buying it. Hi, Benz. Welcome in.
He said I would take her arms and restrain her. I would, until she calmed down, and say, we don't hit, we don't hit. They even went to a counselor together to address issues in their relationship. He said, I grew
Is there
up
proof of that?
with domestic violence, and I didn't want to bring a child into a relationship like that. That was his experience of interacting with Emily. Your job is to assess what you heard him say yesterday, how he appeared, what you think about whether he's lying or not. That's your job. I don't envy you because I think it's a hard job. But that's what you...
Imagine your defense saying that. You know what? My job's done. This is your job now. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad I don't have it because, man, this is fucked. What kind of defense is that? Holy moly. I wonder if she's the same lawyer that Johnny Depp and Fingy had, because yeah, at one point was there ever mention of a child, exactly. Why does she randomly just put this on? Stupid.
Asked to do. What do you believe is the truth? What he told you yesterday or what he said to the police?
The next day, the 12-person jury returned a verdict.
How do you find Mr. Palazzo on the count of first-degree murder, guilty or not guilty? Ms. Jantz, would you like us to poll?
I would, please.
And Mr. Zagu, is that your verdict, guilty or not guilty? Ms. Henderson, guilty or not guilty? Ms. Nault, guilty or not guilty?
Yeah, she was throwing about. She did a poor
Ms.
job. That was a really
Francescani,
bad.
Guilty or not guilty?
Nah.
Mr. Fredrickson, guilty or not guilty?
Oh god, Frosty is
And
sorry for the double post.
Mr. Williams, guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
Why is that
Ms.
woman
Major,
casting a
guilty or not
concentration
guilty?
spell?
Mr. Wing, guilty or not guilty? Guilty. Ms.
Where?
Sorry. Ms. Hammond,
Oh my god. Like here?
Ms. Henderson,
Glasses
guilty or
woman.
not guilty?
When?
Ms. Nault, guilty or not guilty?
Oh,
Ms.
the blue?
Francescani, guilty or not guilty?
Looks like she's obsessed.
Mr. Fredrickson, guilty or not guilty? Guilty. And
I don't know what's happening. Why is it blue?
Mr. Williams, guilty or not guilty? Guilty. Ms. Major, guilty or not guilty? Mr.
I
Wing,
think
guilty or not
guilty.
guilty? Guilty.
It must be a reflection of something.
Ms. Sorry.
It looks
Ms.
very
Hammond,
funny though.
Guilty or not guilty? Mr. Kareem, guilty or not guilty? And Ms. Calvis, guilty or not guilty? So says the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your service. It's clear you were very thoughtful throughout the trial.
Joseph Verlazo now faces life in prison without parole. He hasn't officially been
Fair.
sentenced just yet, but the state says they hope for a February sentencing date. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
Like, I'm speechless. Like, that he did it, period. That's really sad. Like, sure, we have no proof whether the relationship, but I'm sure the relationship was toxic. Like, I'm sure they were not good for each other. But holy moly, to end someone's life like that and then pretend like, oh yeah, she was the issue. Whew. Well, enjoy prison, guy. I'm sure you'll like it there. That was something, definitely. I think we need something. Oh yeah. We talked about it before. Thank God criminals are dumb. That's so true. You have an acoustic and electric, and the newest being an acoustic electric. Oh, like a mix. Interesting. For life? Yeah, I hope he gets life. Like, he took a life. He should get life. I think that's how it should be, not gonna lie. Alright. I have one that I saw a little bit of the next one, and I found it extremely interesting. So we'll go with a kind of a mix of crime and a topic that's very, very big right now. And I found it very interesting. So I hope you're ready for mixing it up.